So I forgot to get a modeling tool. Should always grab one. They're very handy. They come in and use them all the time. But we're going to take the modeling tool and we're going to slowly start going diagonally, smoothing that seam together, okay? And then I'm going to go the opposite way, okay? And go diagonally across that way. Holding it in my hand because the clay is actually getting compressed underneath the weight of itself and moving around, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this smooths in, connects as good as I can possibly get it. Even going to smooth the top edge here, the bottom edge here, okay? Make sure that you smooth this as best you can. You can then take your rib, okay, wrap it around and give it a nice smooth surface there. Because remember, my favorite thing about clay is that you can make it look like it was never more than one piece. The smoother you make it, the more believable that is. So now I've got the basis of what will become my mug, okay? So it's gonna stand up about like that. This is a piece of the slab that I had before. Like I said, don't get rid of that stuff. Hold on to it. We're gonna use it for other things, okay? Make sure you find a nice smooth area. Make sure it's big enough. And then we're gonna set our mug right on top of that extra piece, okay? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out a circle that's slightly bigger than the width or the diameter of my cylinder that I've created, okay? So we're only gonna go about 1/4 of an inch bigger all the way around, okay? And this has just gotta be done very carefully. Eyeball it if you can. If you need to, you can draw it out. But I never really found a need to, but just make it as close as you can, okay? So there we go. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put it up here in the camera a little bit closer. So you can see that I've got a circle, okay, that is slightly larger than the cylinder that I've just made. Now here's where the magic comes in, okay? I'm gonna set this aside, all right? And so what I'm gonna do is, let's try moving this over here so you guys can see this a little bit better. Okay, so what I've done, like I said, I've got my cylinder. You can see that it's wrapped around there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to the side of the table and I'm gonna push it down at kind of an angle like this, about a 45-degree angle. And I'm gonna roll it on the corner so that it kind of helps roll that disc up around the side. Do one full turn. I'm gonna repeat that, but you'll notice the angle is gonna get a little bit lower this time, okay? And I'm not putting a lot of pressure, okay? Maybe like the weight of my hand on there, just to kind of give it a little bit more, okay? So you can see that this is starting to wrap around. I'm gonna go a little bit more, okay? A little bit different angle like that. Okay, and I'm gonna repeat this until I get a little bit lower, until eventually I get down to where I'm making this completely flat. Okay, just like so. And there you go, okay? And now, that ring has now wrapped itself around here. Now, do yourself a favor. Do not slam this on the table. Be very gentle with it. Just give it a couple little taps. That will flatten out the bottom of your, okay, of this, because it'll get a little bit of a wrinkle in it. You'll have a little bit of a seam from the circle that we just attached. So again, we'll come back in with our blue rib, just kind of dragging that around it so that it smooths that out. Go back over my seam, really trying to make everything here nice and smooth. I'm seeing a couple little divots, so I'm kind of going around a second time just to make sure that we've got a nice smooth mug like so. Okay, and that is how you make a cylinder, which will eventually become our mug. Difference between a mug and a cup: this is a cup right now. A mug will become a mug as soon as we attach a handle to it. And I'll show you that in the next one.